Chapter 2, The Broken Prince. The fire club pulses with chaotic energy as Andrew weaves through the crowd, his fingers wrapped around Sam's wrist like a promise or a trap. Bodies writhe under strobing lights, the sweet stench of alcohol and sweat coating the air. But Andrew's attention narrows to the warm pulse beneath his grip and the weight of what he must do. Sam follows willingly, his hair catching flashes of crimson from the overhead lights. A playful smile touching his lips as he assumes they're sneaking off for their usual intimacy. He doesn't notice how Andrew's eyes have hardened, how his jaw has set into a line of grim determination. Through the throbbing mass of dancers, Andrew spots Stephen lingering near the bar, head tilted as if listening for their approach. Nearby, Alicia waits in the shadows, her calculating gaze following their movement with the patience of centuries. Even Mr. Ambers is here tonight, his purple wings carefully concealed, but his watchful presence unmistakable as he nurses a drink at the far end of the bar. The old teacher never strays far from supernatural gatherings, always observing, never interfering. Andrew leads Sam past the restrooms to a door marked "Staff Only," checking that no one watches before slipping a key from his pocket. The lock clicks open, revealing a narrow service corridor lit by buzzing fluorescent tubes that cast everything in sickly yellow. The walls are unfinished concrete, pipes running along the ceiling, the floor bare except for scattered electrical tape marking hazards. "Somewhere private?" Sam asks, his voice taking on that sweet, dulcet tone that usually makes Andrew's chest tighten with desire. "You know, we could have just gone back to my place." Andrew doesn't answer, just pulls him deeper into the corridor, where the music becomes a dull, distant thud. His fingers tremble against Sam's skin, and he forces them to steady. He's planned this for weeks, since the moment he discovered what Sam truly is. "Not patient enough for that," Andrew finally responds, his voice remarkably even despite the storm raging inside him. He needs to maintain the pretense for just a little longer. They reach a room at the end of the hall. Andrew pushes the 2 doors open, revealing a basement looking room. "Hardly romantic," Sam laughs, but steps inside anyway, trusting. Andrew follows, closing the doors with a soft click that sounds like finality. Before Sam can react, Andrew's hands are around his throat, thumbs pressing into his windpipe with sudden violent force. His square jaw tightens, muscles rippling beneath his skin as he applies pressure. Sam doesn't struggle. Instead, his lips curve into a smile full of desire. He thinks this is a game, one they've played before. "Like that, is it?" Sam whispers hoarsely. Andrew's grip falters. He wasn't prepared for this. For Sam to mistake violence for passion, for the look of absolute trust in his eyes. His thumbs ease their pressure slightly, and in that moment of hesitation, Sam leans forward and kisses him. The kiss is soft, trusting, everything. Their relationship has been for the past months. Andrew's hands loosen further, one sliding up to cup Sam's face. For a breath, he forgets why they're here, loses himself in the familiar warmth of Sam's lips, the scent of him that Andrew has memorized like a favorite song. Then the memories flood back, crashing through the momentary peace. His father, King Perstish, executed by angels, the centuries of hiding after the Great Flood. The Angelicas hunted like animals by self-righteous beings of light, who claimed to serve divine purpose while practicing genocide. His people, always running, always hiding in shadows. Andrew breaks the kiss, rage reigniting like a struck match. His eyes flash with crimson undertones, the calm calculation giving way to raw fury. He slams Sam against the wall, hard enough to crack the concrete. "Andrew?" Sam gasps, still smiling through confusion. "What?" "Stop pretending," Andrew hisses, his voice dropping to a dangerous register. "I know what you are." He strikes Sam across the face, a blow that would shatter human bones, but merely snaps his head to the side. Sam laughs, thinking this is still part of their game. Two nearly indestructible beings who can play rough without real damage. "And what am I?" Sam asks, eyes sparkling with mischief rather than fear. Andrew's next blow catches Sam in the stomach, driving the air from his lungs. "An angel," he spits the word like poison. "Not an Angelica, as you claimed, a fucking angel." Sam's playful expression falters, confusion, and then understanding dawning in his eyes. "Andrew, I can explain." "Explain?" Andrew snarls, his voice thick with betrayal. "Explain sleeping with the enemy, gathering intelligence? Was that the mission they gave you? Seduce the Angelica Prince, learn our weaknesses?" "No," Sam whispers, finally struggling against the Andrew's grip. "It wasn't like that. What we had, it was real." Andrew's hand closes around Sam's throat again, lifting him until his feet barely touch the ground. "Real," he whispers, face inches from Sam's. "Was it real when your kind drowned my kingdom? When they hunted us for centuries? When they murdered my father?" Sam's lips move, forming words Andrew refuses to hear. His eyes, now wide with genuine fear, reflect the light bulb overhead. And something else, something that confirms every suspicion, a glimmer of divine light that no Angelica could possess. "I trusted you," Andrew says, his voice breaking on the final word. His black wings unfurl in the cramped space, knocking over chairs and equipment. Sam's own wings remain hidden, but Andrew knows they're there. The doors behind them open, and Stephen steps in, followed by Alicia. The trap is sprung. The hunt is on. Stephen bursts through the door, his lithe frame belying the strength with which he tackles Sam from Andrew's grip. His movements are precise, practiced, the result of years spent as a hunter alongside his parents. Before being turned into an Angelica, he pins Sam's arms behind his back with one fluid motion, his eyes seeking Andrew's for approval. Behind him, Alicia enters with measured steps, her small hands cradling objects wrapped in crimson cloth, her calculating gaze taking in the scene with the detachment of one who has witnessed centuries of violence. Andrew steps back, creating space between himself and Sam. His hands still burn with the memory of Sam's skin against them, the trusting kiss they shared moments ago. He flexes his fingers, trying to erase the sensation. Alicia approaches, the heels of her boots clicking against the concrete floor. She carefully unwraps the cloth to reveal what lies beneath. The objects she holds make Sam gasp and struggle against Stephen's grip. Two equal pieces of a gold and silver spear gleam under the harsh light, their surface etched with ancient symbols that seem to move when viewed directly. The spearhead is attached to wing-like protrusions, giving it the appearance of a trident. The gold has been alloyed with silver, creating swirling patterns that catch and reflect the light in hypnotic ways. "My father's spear," Andrew whispers, recognizing the weapon that once belonged to King Perstish. "I thought it was lost in the flood." "I went back and saved it," Alicia says, offering the pieces to Andrew. "I preserved it for this very purpose, to kill angels, to avenge what they did to us." Sam's struggles intensify, his face contorting with genuine fear. "Andrew, please listen to me. I never lied about how I felt about you." Silence? Alicia hisses, her eyes flashing with ancient hatred. Your kind has spoken enough pretty lies through the centuries. She turns to Andrew, her expression softening into something almost maternal. Remember what they did to your father, to our kingdom. Remember how they hunted us like animals after the flood. This creature is not your lover. It is your enemy, born of the divine light that sought to exterminate us. Andrew takes one piece of the spear, feeling its weight settle into his palm like destiny. The gold burns against his skin. He studies Sam's face, searching for signs of the betrayal he should see there, but finds only fear and something that looks disturbingly like love. I had to hide what I was, Sam pleads, his voice breaking. They would have killed me if they knew I was seeing you. I didn't come here as a spy. I came here to understand, to see if there could be peace. There is no peace between our kinds, Andrew replies, his voice flat. There is only survival. Sam's desperation peaks, and with it comes revelation. His body arches backward, breaking Stephen's hold as radiant golden wings burst from his back, unfurling with such force that they knock Stephen across the room. The basement floods with divine light, so bright that Andrew has to shield his eyes. For one breathless moment, Sam stands before them in his true form, beautiful and terrible, a being of divine creation. His eyes now shine with inner light, his ordinary features transformed by celestial radiance. The moment breaks when Andrew lunges forward, gripping one of Sam's golden wings with his free hand. Stephen recovers quickly, grabbing the other wing. Together, they force Sam against the wall, pinning him like a specimen to be studied. With a grimace of determination, Andrew drives his half of the golden spear through the delicate joint, where Sam's wing meets his shoulder. Sam screams, a sound of such pure agony that it seems to shake the foundations of the building. Stephen follows Andrew's lead, super speeding to get the other half of the spear from Alicia, driving it through the opposite wing. The effect is immediate and devastating. The divine light begins to dim, energy draining from Sam's body like water from a punctured vessel. His wings, once brilliant with celestial power, grow dull and limp. Please, Sam gasps, his voice barely a whisper now. This isn't you, Andrew. What we had, it was real. You know it was. Andrew steps back, his face a mask of conflicted emotions. He turns to Stephen, who waits for a command. In this moment, Andrew tries to fill the hole where his trust in Sam once lived with the certainty of Stephen's allegiance. Finish it, Andrew commands, his voice hard but with an undercurrent of desperation. End him. Stephen reaches into his jacket pocket and withdraws a long foldable knife. The blade catches the fading light from Sam's wings as it extends with a soft click. Stephen approaches Sam, knife raised, but his hand trembles. He looks back at Andrew, hesitation clear in his expression. Stephen begins, his voice faltering. I can't. This is an angel, for God's sake. Anger flashes through Andrew, at Stephen's weakness, at Sam's betrayal, at his own conflicted heart. He snatches the knife from Stephen's hand, the gesture violent enough to make the younger Angelica flinch. If you want something done, Andrew growls, stepping toward Sam. But as he raises the blade, his own hand betrays him, trembling worse than Stephen's head. Sam's eyes, those eyes that had looked at him with such tenderness in private moments, now hold a resigned acceptance that makes something crack inside Andrew's chest. He tries once, twice, 3 times to bring the knife down. but each time his arm freezes mid-strike. Behind him, Alicia watches with growing impatience. "Remember what angels did to us," she urges, her voice cutting through his hesitation. "Remember your father?" Andrew's face contorts with the weight of centuries of hatred and the impossible burdens of his own heart. For a moment, everyone in the room believes he will relent, will free Sam and damn the consequences. Instead, his black wings unfurl fully. With one decisive strike, too fast for the eye to follow, he separates Sam's head from his body. Divine light spills from the wound like liquid red sunshine, Sam's surprised expression frozen in the moment of betrayal. The moment Sam's head separates from his body, a catastrophic reaction ripples through the cramped storage room. The divine energy contained within his mortal form collapses inward, contracting into a blinding orb of pure light that hovers where his heart once beat. Andrew shields his eyes, stepping back as the orb pulses once, twice, then inverts, transforming into a swirling void that begins to devour everything around it. The air itself seems to scream as it's pulled into the growing darkness. And Andrew feels a cold dread settle in his stomach. He has seen angels killed before, but never one so powerful, never one whose death creates such terrible beauty. Sam must have been very old to be this powerful, maybe one of the first angels. The walls around them crack like eggshells, hairline fractures spiderwebbing across concrete as if drawn by an invisible hand. Dust rains from the ceiling, and somewhere above them, the music in the fire club stutters and dies, replaced by screams and the thunder of fleeing footsteps. The entire building shudders, foundation stones grinding against each other, as the void continues to expand, pulling light, heat, and matter into its insatiable maw. "What's happening?" Stephen shouts over the deafening roar of destruction, his round eyes wide with terror as he presses himself against the furthest wall. Alicia moves with the frantic precision of someone who has faced this kind of catastrophe before. She slices her palm with a small silver blade, letting blood pool in her cupped hand. Her sonorous voice rises in an ancient chant, words that twist in the air like living things, syllables that make Andrew's teeth ache and his vision blur. The club above them continues to shake, plaster and concrete raining down in larger chunks now. A water pipe bursts, spraying them with cold liquid that immediately arcs toward the void. Alicia works through it all, her small hands moving with supernatural speed as she completes a circle of blood runes around the expanding darkness. Her eyes, light brown with unsettling yellow undertones, begin to glow with internal fire as she channels power into her creation. The blood runes ignite, not with flame, but with a dark energy that forms a barrier around the void. The pull lessens incrementally as Alicia continues her chant, forcing the divine energy to collapse back in on itself. From her robes, she produces a small box made of interlocking metals, gold, silver, iron, and something darker that seems to absorb light rather than reflect it. The box is covered in the same symbols she has drawn in blood, but these are etched permanently into the metal. With a final, guttural phrase that makes the air itself shiver, Alicia slams the box into the center of the void. The effect is immediate and violent. The darkness rushes into the container like water down a drain, accompanied by a sound like 1,000 voices screaming in harmony. The lid snaps shut with such force that sparks fly from the hinges, and suddenly the room is silent except for their ragged breathing and the distant sounds of panic from above. "It's contained," Alicia whispers, her voice hoarse from the effort. She cradles the box gingerly, as one might hold a bomb. We should leave before. But Andrew isn't listening. His attention has fixed on Sam's head, which lies a few feet away, eyes open and staring, lips parted as if about to speak. The grief hits him like a physical blow, doubling him over, a sound tearing from his throat that is more animal than human. He loved Sam, despite everything. Despite knowing what he was, he loved him. And he killed him. The grief transforms, metamorphosing into something harder and sharper. Fury rises like bile in his throat, burning away everything, but the need to make someone else hurt as badly as he does. His gaze shifts to Stephen, who watches with mounting horror as Andrew straightens, black wings spread wide. "You," Andrew hisses, crossing the space between them in a single stride. "You hesitated." Stephen backs away, hands raised in placation. "My prince, I only thought." "You thought?" Andrew snarls, grabbing Stephen by the throat and lifting him off the ground. "You aren't meant to think. You're meant to obey." He slams Stephen to the floor with enough force to crack the concrete beneath him, pinning him with one knee pressed to his chest. Stephen's struggles are futile against Andrew's superior strength, his hands batting uselessly against Andrew's arms. "Please," Stephen gasps. "I've always been loyal to you." "Not loyal enough," Andrew replies, his fingers hovering over Stephen's face. "You couldn't bear to watch him die, so now you'll never have to see anything again." Before Alicia can intervene, Andrew's thumbs press into Stephen's eye sockets with methodical cruelty. Stephen's scream rises to a pitch that shouldn't be possible from a human throat, his body bucking wildly beneath Andrew's weight. Blood and fluid run down his cheeks like macabre tears as Andrew gouges deeper, destroying the organs with surgical precision. Alicia watches in mounting terror, the runic box clutched to her chest like a shield. "Andrew," she whispers, "that's enough. We need to leave." But Andrew isn't finished. He lifts Stephen's head, cradling it almost tenderly, before his hands tighten with sudden vicious force. With a sickening crack, he separates Stephen's head from his body. But unlike Sam, whose divine nature meant immediate death, Stephen's angelica physiology allows for a more horrific fate. The head remains conscious, blind eyes weeping blood, mouth working in silent agony. "I'll add him to my collection," Andrew says, with unnerving calm, rising to his feet with Stephen's head cradled in his arms. His expression is distant, detached, as if he stepped beyond some threshold of sanity. The ceiling gives way then, massive chunks of concrete crashing down around them as the club collapses. Alicia shields the runic box with her body, her face pale, with a fear she hasn't felt in centuries. Not fear of angels or hunters or even death itself, but fear of the broken prince she raised, the creature she helped create, who now cradles a severed head. "What have I done?" she whispers, the words lost in the roar of destruction. Andrew smiles at her, through the dust and debris, his teeth gleaming white against the darkness, his eyes reflecting a madness older than time. For the first time, Alicia understands truly what it means to create a monster.